Welcome to today's lesson. So today we're going to look at types of fertilizer. This is a topic um, from Agriculture Form 2. So before we start, let's look at success criteria. These are what students they have to know upon completion of this topic. So first of all, the student they must classify fertilizers. Second success criteria is that the student should be able to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of organic and inorganic fertilizers. So let's look at classification of fertilizers. So normally, fertilizers are classified into two categories. So the first one is organic fertilizers. Then we've got inorganic fertilizers. So we're going to look at each and every classification in detail. So let's start by looking at organic manure or organic fertilizers. So on top of organic manure, they are also known organic fertilizers. These are substances that are prepared from animal as well as plant remains. So the remains of animals as well as plants are the ones which are used to prepare or to make this organic manure. So they are added to soil to supply plant nutrients. So what it means is if you add organic manure to the soil, they supply or they add plant nutrients to the soil. So this is just a picture of organic manure. So that's how organic manure looks like. Um, they are prepared from plant as well as animal remains. So let's look at characteristics of organic fertilizers. So the first characteristic of organic fertilizer or organic manure is that they have low nutrient content per unit volume. Okay, so if you compare, let's say the same volume of organic fertilizer and the same volume of inorganic fertilizer, you find that the volume of inorganic fertilizer will have more nutrients as compared to the same volume of organic fertilizer. So the nutrient content per unit volume is very low. And the other thing is they release nutrients very slow. So unlike the inorganic ones, these organic fertilizers, they release nutrients very, very slow. So they are rich in they are rich in many plant nutrients. So as compared to, let's say, inorganic, these organic, they are rich in many plant nutrients. They are bulky and hence cumbersome to transport and apply. So they are bulky. They are so heavy and they are meant to. There are so many. If you are preparing organic manure, there are so many, and they are so difficult to transport as well as to apply. Then there are few negative effects even if used over a long period of time. So unlike the inorganic ones, these organic fertilizers, they have got you can say that they don't have negative effects even if you can use for a long period of time. Then let's look at classification of organic fertilizer. So these organic fertilizers, they are also classified, and normally we have got three classes of organic fertilizers. So I've got green manure, farmyard manure, and compost manure. So we're going to look at each and every classification in details. So we're going to start with green manure. So let's now look at green manure. So this type of manure is made from green plants. Even the name can tell it is made from green plants. So the plants are grown for sole purpose of be incorporated in the soil to decompose and improve soil fertility. So the crops or the plants are grown. The main purpose of growing these plants that the plants, they should be incorporated, or they should be added in the soil and buried in the soil, so that they should improve soil fertility. So examples of such crops, talk of maize, sorghum, red sunflower, beans, clovers, and these crops, they are grown with the purpose of being incorporated in the soil to add fertility to the soil. So legumes have an advantage in the way that they are able to supply nitrate to the soil. So that's an advantage of legumes, and we were encouraged to use legumes in this green manure, because legumes they are able to supply nitrate in the soil. So let's now look at qualities of crops to be used as green manure. So the first quality of crop to be used as green manure, the crops grown for green manure should have the following desirable characteristics. The first one is they should be able to grow rapidly. In other words, they should be able to grow fast. That's the first characteristic. Then they should be highly leafy or vegetative. You know, the leaves are able to decompose fast, so the crops which are used, they should be highly leafy as well as or vegetative. They should have high nutrient content, and preferably they should be leguminous. You know, legumes, they have got high uh, nutrient content. What it means is, if the crop has got high nutrient content, it means it also apply high nutrient content to the soil. So that's why we prefer legumes. They should be capable of fast decomposition. So they should be able to decompose or to rot. They should be able to rot fast. They should be short for easy plowing into the soil. So the crops, they should be short. Why? Because they should be easily plowed into the soil. So they should have the ability to grow on poor soils. So the crops to be used, they should also have an ability to grow on poor soils. So let's now look at reasons why green manure is not commonly used in our country. So the first reason is that there is inadequate land space to grow the green manure. So the space is inadequate, or the land is inadequate, so you cannot grow the crops that just to be incorporated in the soil to make manure. So the other thing is the release of nutrients by green manure crop. The green manure crops is very slow, so it takes a long time to completely decompose and release nutrients for crop use. So since this green manure, they release nutrients very slow, therefore they're not preferably used in our country. The other thing is, most of the green manure crops are food crops, therefore farmers are unwilling to destroy them, especially where the land is limited. Okay, so this point is just linking the first point. Uh, you know, most of this green manure, talk of maize, talk of beans, legumes, they are food crops. Therefore, farmers, they are unwilling to destroy these crops just to make them into manure. So it's not easy since the land is limited. They absorb available moisture and nutrients at the expense of the incoming crops. So if you grow them, it means they'll be using the moisture as well as nutrients which might have been used by the incoming crops. Therefore, uh, they're not preferably used in our country. So let's look at the second type of organic manure, which is farmyard manure. So this farmyard manure is also known as muck or pen manure. So it's the mixture of animal waste and animal beddings which are completely rotten. So animal waste plus animal beddings which are completely rotten. So are the ones which are used to make this farmyard manure. So let's look at preparation of farmyard manure. So animal waste and beddings are taken from the animal house and then are heaped under rainproof shade where they are left to decompose. So after taking the beddings, animal beddings as well as animal waste from the house, they are left under rainproof shade. So the reason is to avoid uh, um, leaching of plant nutrients. That's why they are left under rainproof shade. The other thing is to avoid volatilization, changing of plant nutrients into gas. So that's why they are left under the shade. Then they have to be constant turning over or mixing to ensure that there is uniform decomposition. And the other thing is water may also be sprinkled uh, if the materials are dry. You have to sprinkle water so that to facilitate decomposition by the microorganisms. So if you sprinkle water, it means you are speeding up the decomposition by the microorganisms. When the materials or when the manure is completely decomposed, the manure becomes dry. If farmyard manure is used when it is not completely decomposed, it may cause fungal disease. So avoid using farmyard manure which is not completely decomposed to avoid these fungal diseases. When the manure is dry and finally broken, it is then ready for use. So when the manure is dry, because talked of manure which is completely decomposed comes dry. So when it is dry and finally broken, it is then ready to be used. So we're still in preparation of organic manure. So fresh animal waste should not be applied to the seedbed because the bacteria which break it down to release nutrients will fix available soil nutrients, making them unavailable for plant use. So if you use fresh animal waste, in those fresh animal waste, there are bacteria which break down to release the nutrients. So those bacteria will fix the available will fix the available nutrients in the soil, which are found in the soil. So if they are fixed, it means they will not be available for plant use. So let's avoid using fresh animal waste. When farmyard manure is exposed to openness, there is loss of nutrients. So when we are preparing organic manure, we are advised to prepare the manure under the shade. So if the manure is exposed to openness, it means there will be loss of nutrients due to volatilization, changing of nutrients into ammonium gas, and also there will be leaching. Talk of leaching is going down of nutrients to the layers whereby these plants they cannot leach. That one is known as leaching. So therefore, it is important to prepare the manure under the shade. So let's look at nutritional value and quality of farmyard manure depends on the following. Nutritional value as well as the quality of farmyard manure depends on the following. So the first one is the type of animal producing the manure. So we've got different types of animals producing the manure. So different types of animal provided varying quality or different quality of farmyard manure depending on their nutrition and nutrient requirement. So below is the order of nutrients, nutrient richness of various animal from the highest to the lowest. So poultry provide very good manure, followed by sheep, pig, then talk of horse. The last one is cattle. So it's just the list from the highest to the lowest. Okay, so second point is about the quality of feed given to the animals. So on quality of feed, what it means is if you are giving animals feeds which are rich in nutrients, it means those animals also produce manure which are rich in the same nutrients. Then let's look at type of litter. So we're saying that the best type of litter is the one with the high urine absorption. So on top of litter, we're referring to animal beddings. So these animal beddings, they should be able to absorb high amount of urine. So in urine there is urea. It means we are if we have got high absorption type of litter, it means we are increasing the nutrient content in those litters. The other point is about method of storage. So proper storage is necessary to prevent volatilization. We have talked of volatilization. Um, um, if you store the manure under the shade, it means that manure will be good. But if you expose the manure to openness, it means it will lose some of the nutrients. That's why here we're talking about volatilization, changing of nutrients into gas, and also washing away of nutrients by rainwater through leaching. So methods of storage also contribute to the quality of farmyard manure. The other thing is about age of the manure. So on top of age of manure, well-rotten manure is rich in nutrients and release the nutrients fast in the soil. So if manure is well rotten, it will release nutrients very fast in the soil, unlike the manure which is not well rotten. Also, there is this age of animal. Young animal produce inferior quality manure, while older animals give high quality manure. So the reason is most of the nutrients in young animals, they are used for bodybuilding, for growth, while for older animals it means they're already grown up. they're already grown up. Therefore, they don't use those nutrients for growing purposes. They produce good quality manure. So let's now look at advantages of farmyard manure. So farmyard manure, it is cheaper than the commercial fertilizer. So farmyard manure is cheaper as compared to these chemical fertilizers. It does not require high technical skills to make. So to prepare farmyard manure does not require high technical skills as compared to commercial fertilizers or inorganic fertilizer. It uses locally available raw materials and therefore minimizing wastage while maximizing utilization of the resources. Therefore, we know that farmyard manure, we use locally available resources. In such a way, we are minimizing the wastage, at the same time maximizing utilization of the resources. The other thing is farmyard manure improves soil structure. It is cheaper way of maintaining a clean environment. That is, accumulation and scattering of livestock waste in animal house and the surrounding is avoided. Because those animal waste, we take those animal waste and we use them to make farmyard manure. Therefore, it is a very cheap way of maintaining clean environment. If you are using them to make organic manure, it means there will be clean environment. Let's look at disadvantages of farmyard manure. So the first one, we're saying that this is bulky, hence difficult to prepare, transport, as well as apply. So it is bulky. We've talked of the word bulky. So what means uh, organic manure is so heavy, and organic manure, there are so many. Okay, so it becomes difficult to prepare as well as to apply. So the other thing is organic manure releases nutrients very slow as compared to inorganic ones, find that the organic manure releases nutrients very slow. So if poorly stored, soluble nutrients are easily leached and volatilization can take place. So we've talked of storage. If these organic manure are poorly stored, there will be volatilization as well as leaching. So those are some of the disadvantages. So if stored before it is completely rotten, it causes fungal diseases. I've talked of this point whereby saying that you have to apply organic manure when it is completely rotten to avoid fungal infections as well as scorching of plants. It can also introduce weeds in the seedbed through litter infested with weeds. Some of the litter which are used in the animal house, they've got seeds. Therefore, if you apply this organic manure, it means those seeds can germinate. Therefore, it may introduce weeds in the seed. Let's look at compost manure. So this manure prepared from organic materials like soft hedge, glass, and kitchen waste. So compost is prepared by piling the plant residues in a heap or a pit. So you can use a heap or you can dig a pit and you pile these plant residues. Then the material should be turned over or they should be mixed at the regular interval to facilitate uniform decomposition or uniform decay. If material is of low nitrogen content, ammonium sulfate should be added to improve the nitrogen content in the manure. So if the material is of low nitrogen content, you just add ammonium sulfate, a small amount of ammonium sulfate, just to improve the nitrogen content of the manure. If the material is dry, it can be moistened by sprinkling water. You can use sprinkling water to moisten the manure. If you add water, it means you are making favorable conditions for microorganisms to work. Therefore, it is advisable to sprinkle water if the material is dry. So take note, you have to protect compost manure from direct sunlight as well as rain. And the reason cause of volatilization, talk of leaching, that's why we protect this compost manure. Then some quantity of old organic manure should be added to introduce microorganisms necessary for decomposition. So you can add some old compost organic manure just to introduce microorganisms necessary for decomposition. So let's look at advantages of compost manure. So in general, what are the advantages of compost manure? So one does not have to own livestock in order to prepare it. So if you talk of compost manure, you're talking of soft hedge, talking of glass. So you don't have to own livestock in order to prepare this compost manure. So a lot of manure can be produced within a short period of time. So it is very possible to produce a lot of manure within a short period of time if the materials are available. So a variety of materials can be used in its preparation. So I've got a variety of materials, and these materials are also readily available. They can be used to prepare the organic manure, compost manure. So use of organic compost manure improves soil aeration. So if you use compost manure, you are also improving the aeration of the soil. So locally available material can be used. This makes it cheaper than artificial fertilizer. So it is cheaper as compared to chemical fertilizer, artificial fertilizer. Why? Because there are locally available materials which can be used to make compost manure. The other thing is it improves soil structure. So normally most of the organic fertilizers. They improve soil structure. So let's now look at disadvantages of compost manure. So the first one saying that it releases nutrients slowly in the soil. We have already talked about this, whereby compost manure releases nutrients very slow in the soil as compared to inorganic ones. Large quantities to compost manure are required to supply enough nutrients to the soil. So large quantities, you need to have, very large quantity to supply a lot of nutrients in the soil. So if you have got small quantities, it means nutrients or supply to the soil also be small. Therefore, we need to have large quantities of compost manure in order to supply enough plant nutrients. That's why I'm saying that they are bulky and very difficult to apply. Its preparation is labor intensive. So it is very labor intensive to prepare compost manure. So it may also induce soil-borne pests such as nematodes. So these are some of the disadvantages of compost manure. So let's look at advantages and disadvantages of organic fertilizer. So the first, let's look at advantages of organic fertilizer. So they are cheap because we use locally available resources, so they are cheap. The other thing is they bind the soil particles together. That's improving soil structure. So they bind the soil particles together. Therefore, the soil structure is improved. They also improve water holding capacity. So if we add organic manure to the soil, it means we're improving water holding capacity. They also supply a variety of plant nutrients in the soil, and unlike inorganic fertilizer, they have got specific nutrients to supply the soil. Well, these organic ones, they supply a variety of different nutrients in the soil. They have got long residual effect. What it means is they can supply nutrients for a long period of time after application. So they supply nutrients for a long period of time after applying. So let's look at, you are still on the advantages. They encourage activities of soil microorganisms because they provide food and shelter for organisms. In other ways, organic fertilizer or organic manure provide a good working environment for microorganisms. Therefore, they encourage microbial activities. They also help to buffer soil pH. In other ways, they don't change soil pH. Unlike the inorganic ones. Inorganic ones, if you apply for a long period of time, find that they are changing the soil pH. So they help to moderate temperature. So if you apply organic manure, they also help to modulate the temperature. They do not require special skills to prepare. So it's very easy to prepare. So unlike inorganic ones, these organic manure are so easy to prepare. They don't require special skills. Let's look at disadvantages of organic fertilizers. So they are bulky. And they are expensive to apply and transport. Okay, so they are very difficult to apply as well as to transport because they are bulky. They have got a low level of nutrients per unit weight. So if you compare certain volume of the same volume of organic and inorganic, find that these organic, they have got small nutrient content per unit weight, and they take a long time to release nutrients. So as they undergo a complete decomposition, so it takes time for this organic fertilizer to release the nutrients. They can introduce weeds to the field. So it is very possible to introduce weeds to the field, because this is because the materials which are used to make organic fertilizers, they may contain the seeds, I mean the weeds seeds, which when you apply to the soil, they may germinate, therefore very easy to introduce weeds in the field. They can also cause fungal infections, or they can also scorch the plants if not well decomposed. So if you use them, if they are not well decomposed, they can scorch the plants, as well as they can cause fungal infections. They require a lot of labor. So for you to prepare this organic manure, a lot of labor is required, labor intensive. So that's all about this video. If there is any other question, there's any feedback, I hope you are going to comment in our comment section. If there's any other question, that's our WhatsApp number and also our email. You can visit us there. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.